Welcome back. This is where we left off, I think. And still flying itself just perfectly fine, which is, again, amazing. I'll shut the... I wonder, actually. Ah. So, the radiator is right here. And when the flap opens up, I'll just show you. Um, so, you may have noticed a few things about our ascent. There was no scram ascent because we don't have scram engines, and thus we only have two fuel tanks, main and RCS, and not three, main RCS and scram. And we don't have APU fuel tank, but I'll get to that in a moment. Um, so it takes a lot more fuel to get up into space. At this point, we still had over half of our tanks left with the Raven Star, but we're not even to orbit yet, and we're running very low. We're almost to orbit, so there's that. Also, we have this total G indicator, which is very handy, so you don't have to do math, because I don't like doing math in my head with acceleration and stuff. We still do have kilonewtons and all that stuff, and an acceleration, I guess. There's no directional acceleration, but you have 15.66. And you notice that number's going up. And the reason for that is because our vessel is getting lighter. And as our vessel gets lighter, our engines, which produce a set amount of thrust, in this case 320 kilonewtons, have more an effect on our ship. So the G's will continually increase so long as our engines stay at their maximum value. So there's that. Just a little bit of physics for you. I guess we could start getting into aligning our planes, because... Oh, one thing before this ends. So you may have noticed our launch heading is 42 degrees, because that is very beautiful for lining up with the International Space Station. And what that means is the International Space Station is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Okay, I just had to get that nerdiness out of the way. Set this to orbit mode so you can see what we're doing. Align planes with the ISS. See, it does work, and it doesn't make the computer angry. Okay, I also had to prove that. So there we go. The autopilot has ended, and we're just sitting here floating. And now I remembered I was going to show you the radiator. So the radiator is right here, and its cover kind of opens up backwards, and as you can see, it is lined up perfectly to stop the cargo bay from opening, which means you can either have the radiator open or the cargo bay open. But since the radiator is only aesthetic in the Delta Glider 4, we can just retract that. So it doesn't really do anything. It is in here with the life support systems, which makes sense. One of the things in spaceships is you need to be able to get rid of heat. Because although space is cold, there is not very good ways to get heat out, because there's nothing to take the heat from you. It's a vacuum. Let's fill up our RCS tanks. So there's that, and we're in space, and so I'm going to fast forward until we get to closer to this. We want to be going AN, which is the ascending node, which means we need to be anti-normal. So a little math here. We have 45 seconds of burn to go through. Divided by 2 is 22.5. So when Tn equals 22.5, we will get our signal to burn. Oh, I missed that. What? Huh. That number went down really quickly. There we go. Another thing you may have noticed is that it up here? No, it's not up here. It's only down there. Well, yeah, I can do it. You may have noticed this remote thrust thing with countdown, burn duration, and select power, along with a start and stop. That, as its name implies, is a remote thrusting thing, which means that you can have even more of this ship flying itself. Like in that moment, I could have said, well, I have 45 seconds, so I want a 45-second burn duration. I could have done that and gone down. See, I fail at math. 45-second burn duration. I could have slowed this down like that, calculated how long it would take for TN to get to 25 seconds, put that up here. We would have wanted main 100 and start. And then this counts down, and this little light flashes, and this little light flashes. There it is. I knew there was something up here. Is there something up here? No, there's not. So that'll tell you, so you could set the ship to do stuff for you, which is pretty nice. So you could, in theory, command a whole fleet of these. I don't want align planes. I want sync orbit. Target. I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Hey, we have mirror? I didn't know we had mirror. We don't have mirror. How could we target something that doesn't exist? Once again, no intersection. We are behind the International Space Station. One thing we could do is go to the orbit MFD with all of these giant swaths of text. T is the period time for our orbits. I have 5.312 kiloseconds. Kiloseconds? There's got to be a better name for that. Kiloseconds. And the International Space Station is 5.490 kiloseconds. So you can see that my time is less, so I could just speed up time and wait for me to get there. Or, on the flip side, actually I don't have that much fuel. I'll try it anyway. What's life if you don't go out on some adventure? So, what I'm going to plan on doing is, instead of catching up to it, I'm going to extend my apogee so high that the International Space Station will catch up to me. Because it's all a circle, so I'm not behind it. It is behind me. So I'm going to force it to catch up to me. So let's burn our engines and see how well this does. So I'm watching DT min right here. 700 seconds is... No, there we go. It just exploded even further. And it's going up. That's a good sign. But this should work. Eventually. We just have to make sure we have enough fuel. So we're at 25. I'll say 30. So if it gets to 15, I've got to stop this. Oh, wait. I'm feeling lucky. I'm going to go for orbit 2. So you can see 14 point this is going up really quickly, whereas this isn't going up at all. In fact, it's going down. So eventually 14 will equal 16. So, yeah, I'll wait for that. So slowing down my thrust. There we go. So that wasn't too bad, but we do have this ginormous orbit now, which is a lot of fun, actually, to work with. So I'm going to turn off my autopilot. It is not a good idea to autopilot at or above 100x, just for your information. So here we go. We're at the apogee, and got to find the Earth. There we go. The Earth is way down there. We're probably in some dangerous amount of space right here, actually. Unless you like radiation. I personally don't like getting a lot of radiation in my body. So you can see, as I'm above the International Space Station, it kind of slows, or it catches up to me. And then we get to a really fun part, and that is auto-docking. But I'll set it up and do it in the next video because you cannot time compress. during autopilot. Ooh, another thing. No time compression during autopilot. It does not like it, at least for the Delta Glider. Our distance is getting close, so let's set the comm nav. I believe 13420 is part of the International Space Station, but let me check. Not Luna Obi-Wan. 137. So let's set this to 137. I'm feeling like a 20. And I don't know the XPDR of the International Space Station, and it's not listed. Sad day. So, we can just use this. Distance is just exploded. Okay, well, time to cheat. So docking, target, International Space Station. Actually, I'm going to be special and target 3. So we are going, as you can see in this arrow, 1 kilometer, over 1 kilometer farther away from the International Space Station every second, which is not a good thing to be. So what I did here over on the left is I was able to set the docking MFD. I'm going to turbo pump. I was able to set the docking MFD without actually getting a signal, and you can do that, which is very handy for when you totally miss the International Space Station by 300 kilometers without getting within range. Delta Glider does have an automatic pilot for docking, but it only works if you have the IDS of the dock as your nav1 and you're getting a signal, which I have the docking as IDS1, but I wasn't getting a signal. The finicky thing about trying to close when you're 300 kilometers away is that trying to close adjusts your orbit, as you can see here. So what's really going to happen is my velocity is going to shift off to the right because, as you see, there's still no intersection. So I am going to want to do this. Well, this isn't going to be set up at all this video, which is just great for me. Sorry, I totally failed at connecting with the International Space Station there. But you get to see how to correct a fail, and possibly how to run out of fuel in orbiter, which is going to be a lot of fun. So there we go. We have more time there. So I believe we've rectified that, and in the next video... wait. So I believe we've rectified that. So in the next video, we will get closer, and possibly I'll show you the docking thingamajigger. So see you then.